Hello, my Leos. Welcome to Scrappy Siren Tarot. This will be your daily reading for January 25th, 2024. Thank you for joining me today. And as always, take what resonates and leave the rest behind. All right, so as usual, we're going to get a general message from Spirit with 3 cards from the Tarot of Oppositions. All right, we have one flyer here. Spirit, what is the general message that we need to hear for the day tomorrow, please? Happy middle of the week, by the way. Hope your week's going well, not too crazy. All right, so your first card that you received is the 10 of Pentacles. The second card you received is the 10 of Wands. And your third card is the Lover's card. I have to cover it up a bit. Okay, so this seems to be like it might be a romantic reading for some. For those of you who are looking to get in a partnership, or you're starting to put yourself out there on the dating scene, it appears like you could be meeting someone, okay, who comes from maybe a wealthier upbringing, a little bit more affluential. Not that that particularly matters, but it looks like with the 10 of Pentacles, it's giving me that impression that this person is well off financially, okay? But with the 10 of Wands, this is giving me the energy of someone who's a little bit of a workaholic, okay? So, and if this doesn't resonate with you, I'll get to the alternative interpretation of these cards. But if you are someone who may be going out on a date this weekend or tomorrow, there does seem to be someone within your circles that's interested in you, but the overall personality impression that this is giving me is someone that is well off. However, they are extremely focused on work with the 10 of Wands. All right. Now, if alternatively, this could also be someone who is super traditional, super involved in their family life. Okay. Lots of traditions and heritage is what I'm like picking up on. All right. And if you're not interested in finding a romantic partner, don't worry. There is an alternative interpretation to this reading, but if that also doesn't resonate with you, this just might not be your reading. So alternatively, let's see here. This is going to have to do with your work, your workplace, okay? So currently, you are perhaps weighing if you should go the financial route or if you should go the passionate route. What I mean by that is if you're looking for jobs or you're thinking about whether or not you want to stay with your current job, this is giving me the impression that you are deciding, okay, should I go back to school? Should I, do things that I know will put me in a different financial bracket? Or should I pursue my passion? Should I start my own business? Should I do something that maybe doesn't pay quite as much, but I'm more interested in? So it looks like those are the two sides or two interpretations that could come from these cards for tomorrow. So I'm going to go ahead and clarify with the Osho Zen Tarot. And I'm going to do this a little bit differently for your reading today since I'm getting such a distinct two messages from this reading for two different sets of people from the Leo collective. So I'm going to go ahead and get 2 cards on each of the first cards that came out. So essentially I'm going to get 6 more cards, and I'm going to divide it up into those 2 groups. All right, so Spirit, please clarify the 10 of Pentacles for those who are seeking a romantic connection. Okay, that was quick. So you received 2 flyers. All right, please, Spirit, clarify those of you who are reevaluating work pursuits. Please clarify the 10 of Pentacles for work pursuits. What is it that's helping us evaluate the financial pros and cons? Please, Spirit. It's interesting that this is such a divided reading. I don't think I've had a reading like this before, but there's definitely 2 distinct divisions in this reading, because on one hand you have the 10 of Pentacles, okay, and that's a heavy tradition, heavy financial mindset. Oh, that's too many cards. I'm just going to pull the top one. And then with the second one, or the far right side, you have the Lover's card, and to me that either represents a new romantic interest, or it could mean your passions. And because it's associated with the 10 of Pentacles and the 10 of Wands, this is giving me an impression that you're debating over, should I pursue money or passion, okay? Or what I'm passionate about. All right, Spirit, please clarify the 10 of Wands for the Leo collective who is interested in a romantic partnership, please. Why is this 10 of Wands here, please, Spirit? Why is this here? Why are they so involved in their work or in their family? All right, Spirit, please. It was too soon. Let me put that back. All right, I didn't ask the question yet. All right, Spirit, please clarify the 10 of Wands for those of the Leo collective who are looking to weigh their options at work. Why is the 10 of Wands here, please? Okay. All right, then for the Lover's card, Spirit, let me keep going. All right, Spirit, please clarify the Lover's card with regards to those of the Leo collective who are looking for a partner. What is this new love interest like? Please tell us a little bit more about this love interest. What are they like? What are their intentions towards Leo? Okay. All right, and last but not least, for those of you weighing your passion and creativity versus more of a financial approach, financial mindset, what is it that the Leo collective is passionate about? What do they need to consider with regards to their new business that they're thinking of, their business idea? Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and go through each of the general messages that we received here for each of the 2 groups of you guys, okay? Thank you for bearing with me here. It's a little bit different, this reading. So for the 10 of Pentacles, for those of you looking for a partner or are currently on the dating scene, I asked Spirit what exactly is the significance of the 10 of Pentacles. Why is this person valuing the finances so much or their inheritance so much? So we received integration, and we received going with the flow in reverse. Okay, so with integration, this is giving me the impression that when combined with going with the flow, it's kind of confirming my belief that this person has a hard time going with the flow, so to speak, or balancing work-life balance, okay? They wish to integrate it with the integration card, but it's just something that they're not prioritizing. They'd much rather put their time and energy into their work life, okay? Alternatively, this person could be of mixed background, especially with this integration card. Maybe this is telling a little bit more about their like physical appearance. I get the feeling that they come from like they're descended from two different ethnic backgrounds possibly. That's just for some of you. But for the majority of you, I'm getting the impression that they are not prioritizing at the moment this work-life balance. So it may be kind of hard to pin this person down to get them to be available because they're throwing a lot of their energy into their work. All right, and then for those of you who are possibly weighing work options, like whether or not to pursue their passions or go more of the stereotypical financial route. Now, as a slight disclaimer, I really believe that you can have both. So maybe that's something you should consider, is finding a happy medium between the two. But regardless, on the 10 of Pentacles, you received control in reverse. So perhaps the reason why you're also considering just going back to school or maybe doing something more stereotypically financially successful is because perhaps you've been feeling like you've had a lack of control in your finances, or you just feel like you wish you had a little bit extra cushion in your bank account, and so you didn't have to worry about it so much, okay? So that's the impression that I'm getting on that card. Then for the 10 of Wands, all right? So we're going to go back to the first group that's looking for a romantic partner. So the 10 of Wands talks about overdoing it, or it's a certain amount of intensity of like where you're kind of picking up more than you can carry. So it's a feeling of something being imbalanced, okay? Skewed in one direction. Doesn't necessarily have to be bad. It's just like the energy of the moment, the energy of the person, okay? So why your partner is in that 10 of Wands energy. We have courage in reverse, and we have guidance in reverse. So this person has yet to slow down, is what I'm hearing, for a while. And the reason they haven't slowed down is because they're afraid to, with courage in reverse. They're afraid that as soon as they slow down, they're going to have to hear their innermost thoughts. They're going to have to kind of face reality a little bit, okay? I don't mean that to sound harsh, but a lot of people throw themselves into work sometimes because it helps them forget about other things that they'd much rather not think about. And that kind of goes with the guidance card that, I'm sorry. I just grabbed this guidance card and I just went with it. So we're going to have to go back, and I'm going to get the other second group another card. But intuitively, I do feel like this was for the first group, for the group that are looking for a partner. Anyway, sorry for that interruption. So yeah, they haven't had the courage to kind of let loose, is what I'm hearing. And because they don't want to hear their innermost thoughts. They don't want to hear that guidance that tells them to slow down a bit. So it may be hard. This may be kind of an elusive individual. They may be mysterious, maybe really intriguing, maybe a little bit alluring because they never seem to quite be available, right? Their calendar's always full. They're surrounded by lots of people and friends. So then for the other group, for the group that's looking to reevaluate their economic situation, let's go ahead and clarify the 10 of Wands. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and clarify for you guys with the Fantasy Garden Tarot. Okay, so we already had a card pop out here. It's the 6 of Wands in reverse. So this makes perfect sense to me. This actually really resonates. So and I hope it does with you guys too. So I think the main reason why you are feeling perhaps overwhelmed at this decision, or why you're not leaning one particular way yet, and why it's kind of overwhelming and you're trying to make all these decisions all at once, is with the Six of Wands card, you are afraid perhaps of the attention that you might receive if you should pursue your passion. Okay, you're afraid of what people might say. You're afraid of what people might think. You're afraid of, with the Six of Wands in reverse, the judgment, but not like, or the attention, right? And you're afraid of the negative attention that in your mind you think you could possibly receive. All right, so moving on to the next card for the general message, we have the Lovers, okay? And for group one, that represents the individual that you may come across tomorrow or may be interested in. So take what resonates, time is fluid. So to gain a little bit more about this person, I drew one card and we have nothingness in reverse. So this person, it really lines up with the rest of this reading. I mean, this is redundant. I mean, this person is doing everything. There is nothing they're not doing, okay? Literally nothing they're not doing. If this was upright, this would give me impression that they're in a transition phase, right? They're in between two things. They're in a energy of pure potential, of like trying to figure things out, what direction they want to go in. But because it's in reverse, this is telling me that this individual is juggling a lot of things now, like a lot of things. And I hate to say it, but I really think they are afraid to sit in silence right now. So they might talk a lot. They may not like gaps in between conversation. I'm getting the impression that they're just afraid, especially with there's a lot of green in their cards, okay? And the green to me represents the heart chakra. So I get the feeling that they're afraid to open up their heart a bit, okay? And so they want to fill all the silences. They're afraid to expose themselves and make themselves vulnerable, their heart and their feelings vulnerable. Now, that doesn't mean that won't change later, but that's the initial impression, first impressions that I receive about this particular individual, okay? It's not necessarily a bad thing. I'm not getting like an overall negative feeling about this person. You will have to be the judge of that, but definitely get this like busy, protective individual who is very popular, very talkative, okay? All right, so for those of you weighing your financial options, deciding whether or not you want to pursue maybe your own business or go back to school or things like that, in terms of your passion, as that pertains to being one option, you have mind in reverse. So there's something about this hobby that you potentially want to turn into a business, or it may not necessarily be a hobby. Maybe it's something you already do as a side gig, okay? Maybe it's something you do already to make money, but you're just debating whether or not you should put more time in it or invest more resources in it. So there's something about this activity that really calms you down, that really takes your mind off things and really relaxes you, which is great. So yeah, just keep that in mind, that there are things that you can do. There are job opportunities out there that can have a balance between financial stability and peace of mind, okay? And that may take a little trial and error. That may take some years. That may take some experimenting for a little bit. But I truly believe that, everybody has something different to offer the world. And when you're really in your element, people will pick up on it and It'll just work. It'll work out. And hey, even if you still have to keep it your side gig, that doesn't mean you should give it up. It doesn't mean you can't make a little extra money on the side. And it doesn't mean after a couple years it can't turn into your main gig, okay? All right, so very interesting divided reading for you guys in the Leo Collective. And I'm just going to go ahead and get each group's challenge for tomorrow and their ally. So let's start with the challenge for each group first. We're going to use the Fantasy Garden Tarot, okay? All right, Spirit, what is the challenge for those looking for a romantic partnership tomorrow? Or for those of you who are already in, this could also be about them. Those of you who are also already in a relationship is what I'm trying to say. All right, Spirit, what is the challenge for tomorrow? Okay, so you received the Queen of Swords, the Ace of Cups, and the Knight of Wands in reverse. Okay. Let me see here. The overall impression that I'm getting, it's like I'm looking at your guys' conversation. If you guys have a conversation or date tomorrow, or whenever you do have a date, I'm like visualizing you two talking, and I'm seeing the two separate energies, okay? So I really think with the Ace of Cups in the middle between you two, that emotions are possible to flow and exchange between you two, but it may feel a little bit chaotic in energy. So I'm getting the impression that this person, like I said earlier, doesn't really like to have a lot of silences in the conversation. So they're gonna maybe ask you a lot of questions. All right. And they're giving me the Knight of Wands in reverse energy. So they're giving me kind of like this a little bit hot-headed, a little bit rebellious, a little bit charismatic, okay? Maybe a little bit too aggressive in asking the questions. Maybe some of the questions you're kind of like, whoa, that's kind of personal. So that's kind of a heavy loaded question on their second date or however many dates you guys have been on. Okay, and then you're in the Queen of Swords energy. So you're like cool, calm, collected, not wearing your heart on your sleeve quite yet. All right, you're answering the questions in like a methodical way. You may be a little bit taken aback by the fieriness of this person. They could definitely be a fire sign for sure. All right, I'm getting I want to say, let me think about this for a second. Because I get a distinct feeling of like what zodiac sign they are. I think they're probably a Sagittarius. I don't know if that resonates with you, but I am getting like a fiery sign, and definitely somebody who's like very good in business, okay? So with the Queen of Swords energy, you're kind of like sitting back and observing here, and you're really good at reading people. So you're just kind of letting them take the center stage, that you're kind of letting them ask all the questions since they seem to be the initiator in this conversation. And you're just hanging out, seeing how it goes. You're willing to share, but you're not you're coming from a place of like, I'm just gonna see where this goes. All right, and let's go ahead and so as far as like challenges go, like I said earlier, I think your challenge is to not be overwhelmed by the sheer amount of fieriness and openness and like pointed questions that this person has, right? Not to be like oh boy, that's a lot. You know what I mean? Like to kind of sit back and observe. That would be your challenge. All right. And then for the other group who is debating where to take themselves financially, what is the challenge, please, Spirit? What is the challenge here? Okay. Your challenge is the Wheel of Fortune. So your challenge is to do the best you can to make a decision to move forward, and to realize that whatever you decide, you will learn from it, and destiny is going to be put to work. Okay? So there's some things that you can't control, and there's some things that you can control. And it's important that you take this time to figure out the difference between the two when deciding, okay? And be realistic about not being too hard on yourself, and being able to distinguish between what you can and can't control with whatever decision you decide to put your heart into, okay? All right, so we're going to get one card for each group for the ally. We already got one for group 1. All right, and well, that's too many. Let's just go with this one. All right, for group 2. So group 1 for your ally. For those of you looking for a partner, your ally is the Moon. So your ally is to be, even though this person may ask you a bunch of questions, try not to overshare as best as you can. Definitely answer them as to the best of your ability, as comfortable as you feel, but don't feel the need to overshare. And I'm getting the impression that it will be good for you to have an air of mysteriousness, and in order to do that, you kind of need to ask them more questions as well. So make sure you get questions in for them, okay? And then for group 2, those of you looking for career ideas or career direction, your ally is the Knight of Cups in reverse. So your ally is to look at this in a practical way, okay? In this moment. That doesn't mean go for the most practical idea, but that means in the process of you deciding, make the decision-making process practical. It doesn't have to be the outcome is practical in the stereotypical societal sense, okay? What I mean is, for example, figure out, do a pros and cons list, interview people who are in the fields that you're interested in. Think about what is needed to get from point A to point B, okay? I mean practical in that sense, all right? That is your ally. All right, so we're going to finish up this reading with a joint ending oracle for 2 groups, okay, for the 2 groups. So, Spirit, what does the Leo Collective need to hear for the day tomorrow? For both groups, please. For both groups in the Leo Collective. Okay, so that's too many. Let's keep going. Okay, so this is the card that popped out. So I'm going to go with this one. We have the eighth house mystery. I definitely get an overall sense of mystery here for both sides, actually. So it's card number 46. So bear with me while I find the page. Okay, mystery. If your chart were a village map, the 8th house would be on the corner of the red light district next to a mortuary and a savings and loan bank. It is a private house where we deal with things we don't talk about in public: sex, death, debts, loans, psychic phenomenon. Here we deal with other people's resources and how they are exchanged, money, bodies, thoughts, and work, and how we inherit goods and attitudes. This house can feel uncomfortable, but it's a place where we can transform. Action. Assess the power dynamics between you and other people around important resources like sex, money, and inheritances. I kid you not, okay, with the Ten of Pentacles. Inheritance, all right? Notice if a relative or boss withholds money until you behave, or if you or a lover withholds sex until some other need is met. Just get clear in your own mind if anyone is pulling strings and try to heal dysfunctional dynamics with clear and healthy boundaries. Seduce honestly. Not all strange sexual dynamics or unusual financial arrangements are a problem. If you understand your peculiarities and don't feel coerced or controlled by them, they are just part of who you are. Financial investors and advisors, consultants, ministers, lovers, intuitives, brain trusts, auctioneers, and investigators all work with 8th house affairs. So maybe this person, for those of you looking for a romantic partner, maybe this person is a financial investor, an advisor, a consultant, okay? Some sort of career like that. And if they work with integrity, do so productively. Develop your 2nd house resources, your own money, sense of worth, and body confidence to strengthen your freedom and bargaining power and operate in this realm with grace. Engage the resources handed to you, but make your own judgment calls. Challenge. The 8th house calls for one last freedom, to acknowledge that death exists and be fully alive in response. Challenge. It can be tempting to manipulate by withholding love, power, or money, and hard to step away when someone else is jerking those chains. Gift. Face your worst fears and step through, feel that liberation. The trap of manipulation falls away when you don't bite the hook. All right, my Leos, I will see you next time. Have a good one.